Hi, and welcome back to Make Me Good. Another interesting episode today. I'm your host, David Karli. Today we're going to try something a little different, a little unique, and a little, how can I say, differentiated. Dr. Cybil Bonhomme is here. Welcome, Cybil. And Cybil and I know each other. She's done a lot. So I want to list all of your accomplishments first, and then we'll get into it. But thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So awesome to be here, Dr. David.
All right, let's go through all your stuff here because it's a lot. Okay, so you're founder and editor-in-chief of Miami Vibes magazine. Congratulations on that. So but interestingly, you have some history prior to founding that
Yes,
that
I was not always cool.
Well, you were a geek like me, it turns out. So Cybil, anyway, let's talk about the magazine first. So, premier lifestyle publication, and it really celebrates kind of the pulse of things here in Miami. Yes. Fair?
Everything local, lifestyle, everything.
Fashion, wellness, culinary.
Gastronomy, everything.
We'll get to the culinary in a moment. But fascinatingly, you're a doctor, Dr. Cybil. And your doctorate is in epidemiology.
Yes.
So I want to talk today about how epidemiology fits into the pulse of Miami, if we can.
Absolutely.
But so Dr. Cybil joins us, and also very involved in nutrition and counseling. And you wrote a book on nutrition, one or two books?
I wrote one.
One book.
Part one. Part two is coming soon.
Part two soon. Okay, well, we'll get into that. So you've done a lot, and you bring an eclectic background. So I'm really happy to have you. And why don't let's start off by this fascinating dichotomy of an epidemiologist who's at every event and every party and in the scene. How do you use your epidemiology degree to make you better at what you do as a magazine editor?
So many ways. So growing up, I've always loved helping people. I always want to make people feel good, and I just want them to be healthy. So I've always been a nerd at heart. And so going to med school was just a no-brainer. It's just something I wanted to do. But there's something that I always loved to do was help the underdog, like the underserved people, the people that go unnoticed, right? And it's because I don't think they have a fair chance at so many things, especially things like nutrition. So being an epidemiologist, my background focused on cervical cancer research, which is the most preventable cancer you can have.
And for people who don't know, just briefly, an epidemiologist, not everybody may know what an epidemiologist is. So let's define what an epidemiology degree is and what an epidemiologist does.
So basically, epidemiology, we look at statistics, we look at things that really harm people, like COVID. We went through COVID, right? We look at the statistics, who's most at risk of getting COVID. How do we help these disadvantaged communities? And so that's basically how epidemiologists come in. Like, we look at the statistics. How do we take those statistics to really make this a better world? And so what I really wanted to do, I incorporate the epidemiology into the magazine, into events. So I host, not only do I host social events, but I host wellness events as well. So and these wellness events are different. They could be like panels, it could be with yoga, it could be with biohacking tools. And it's just to get people involved into how can they live a better life, right, in a natural way. And so it's a lot of times we do this free for the public. I don't think everything should have a price. I think people should just come together, be healthy, be with their friends, and just get involved with the community.
So recently, Cybil, you and I were at an event during Swim Week.
Yes.
And I remember commenting so how do you go to, look, Miami is a city of events.
Yes.
There's always something going on. And as a magazine editor, part of your job is to be at these things.
At these events, so many events. Right? Well, when I first started the magazine, as like a lot of people know, when I started this magazine, I was not in a good place in my life. I was in a very dark place. So I would go to 4 or 5 events a day. And it was a lot. It's taxing.
Sure.
But then I started, doing a little self-care, and I'm like, this is not healthy. So although there's so many events to go to, I like to pick and choose because I didn't want to exhaust myself, and I had to take priority of myself because if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of other people.
Of course.
Right? So then I try to pick and choose like things that are very important to me, things that mean something, like the one that we went to. I think it's one of the biggest events in Miami. So try to make a presence, show face, whatever I can.
Well, now you said you were in a dark place on the Make Me Good podcast, so I must go there. I cannot possibly resist, because one of the purposes of the podcast is to use stories of our guests to help other people who might be struggling with a problem to make themselves good. So, if you don't mind disclosing, the details. What was dark? What was going on?
I was going through a divorce, so my marriage of 10 years fell apart. So it was hard because we were very in love. We were very, we did everything together. We lived in Europe for 4 years, and it was just such a great life. So he was a great partner, but then it came to an end. And because of that, I was beside myself. I just didn't know what to do. And I'm not like most people. I don't go to therapy. I don't go to church. So I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, the next best thing, you open a magazine.
So you started that after all of this happened. It wasn't before.
No, so I was going through my divorce in 2018, and I launched my magazine in October 2018, that same year.
So was it a reaction to kind of bury yourself in work to deal with the pain?
At the time I was teaching at the University of Miami.
Yeah.
I was doing research, my cervical cancer research, and it wasn't enough. Believe it or not, it was it kept me busy enough. I'm like, oh my God, I have time to
Cybil takes it to the extreme. Extreme grief counseling.
Yes. I'm like, I have 2 hours to think. I cannot have this. So, So
but there's something to be said for that.
Yeah,
right?
I was crazy.
Was it purposeful, or it was just you trying to block, the difficulty you were dealing with out?
At first I was going to the gym twice a week, twice a day. And that still wasn't, I'm like, you know what? This isn't cool. So then I started exploring Miami. So I'm born and raised in Miami, right?
Yep.
We have a very love-hate relationship. I don't like traffic. I hate it. It's not cute. So growing in Miami, there used to be traffic hour at 8 and at 5. And somewhere along the lines,
it changed from 8 to 5.
Yeah, exactly. 8 to 8, actually, 8 to 8, because exactly. I still see it at 8.
Exactly.
And so when I moved away in 2014, I moved away for my dissertation in 2014 in Sevilla, Spain. I loved it. It's the first time I left Miami and I was okay not coming back. I'm like, this is great, because the life there was just so amazing. Like, people are so happy, and there's just so, they say tranquilo, everyone's just so laid back, and I'm like, I love this. This is great, because I'm just and you're a doctor, so you're always on such high stress, and everything has to be so perfect all the time. And so for the first time in my life, that wasn't the case, and I was like, oh, this is so good. And so it was just living there, just being a part of the culture. I was able to just travel and just go everywhere. It was great. Come back 2018 and 2017, and I don't know, something changed in Miami. It was becoming cool, and I was like, okay, I could be here for a little bit. And so it wasn't until I was going through my divorce, I started exploring Miami again. And I liked what I saw. I liked how there were things going on everywhere, which isn't just South Beach, because a lot of people just know South Beach. They come here for South Beach. And I remember watching a travel channel back in Spain, and Miami came up. Yeah. And you see all these beautiful things for all these places, and then you see Miami, and all you saw were naked people on the beach. I'm like, this is not Miami. That's not all we do. We're more than that, I swear.
That is the perception, actually. Yeah. You have the movies like The Birdcage and things like that. It's a sensationalized movie.
And it's not just that. There's other things that naked people. I mean, we have a lot of beautiful naked people, but
we do have a lot of beautiful people for certain. Yeah.
But that's not it.
And they were all at the party we were at. They were
all there. Yes.
I've never seen such a positive gene pool in my life.
No, and it's so funny. A lot of people, when they come here, they're like, I have to step up my game, because you know what? I need to fit in. I need to. That's why people go to the gym so much here.
So getting back to the point you made, two things I want to explore. So you mentioned kind of reconnecting with Miami, but you'd grown up here. Was it there all along, and you kind of lost sight of it, or Miami changed?
Miami did change.
How did it change?
They started. Well, South Beach was no longer just a focal point. There became Wynwood started becoming a thing. Coconut Grove started evolving even more. Brickell started evolving. So there was something everywhere, something for everyone. Yeah. Which is why this was not a crazy thing too. So when I launched a magazine, I launched it with the premise that it would be monthly, 12 issues. No one does that. But again, I was in a very dark place. I didn't think it through. So I remember the first time, my first cover party.
Yeah.
October 2018 was at the Ritz-Carlton in Coconut Grove. Amazing event. I was only allowed to have 60 people. 60 people came out. It was great. Awesome event. I went home that night. I'm like, this was so cool. I was so excited that I started to cry. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this next month again. It was just, it was the worst. I did not.
Was it overwhelming or?
It was both. It was exciting, but then I'm like, I have to imagine publishing all this, putting all these things together. So the magazine consists of 6 sections. So we have gastronomy, we have fashion, we have beauty, we have creatives, all these sections every single month. I was just in it. I was in survival mode. So
why a magazine? You could have done anything. You could have immersed yourself in anything. You had the background. You have your doctorate. You could have gone with your research. You could have done so many things. Why did you choose the magazine to make you good? Was it reinvention of yourself, maybe?
Well,
coming out of the divorce.
Ever since I was very young, I loved pictures and putting things together. So I always had a scrapbook.
Yeah.
Right. So I had those big scrapbooks where you put get stickers and all these really interesting things together. So that was always something they did. That was, I guess, my creative outlet for forever. And then once I got older, your studies becomes too much and you can't do those anymore. Then I got into doing digital photo albums. Mm-hmm. And since I was...
Which turned into Facebook, by the way. The same idea. Turned into $1 trillion company.
Right.
So not a bad idea, Cybil. Just a little late, that's all.
Right? Oh, so dumb. Go back in time. And so when I got engaged, I was going through med school, and I'm like, there's no time to even do that. So for my wedding, I came up with a magazine concept. So I gave every one of my guests a customized magazine of our engagement photos.
Got it. And so it was there all along.
I had that magazine. I had this interest for photos and putting things together, and the storytelling. I love creating stories. I love telling people stories. So, which is why I do a lot of brand awareness, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I did this, and instead of thank you cards, I gave everyone a magazine of the wedding photos afterwards. And people just loved the idea. So people started coming up to me. They're like, "Oh, we should do I would want this," and then I was like, maybe I should turn this into a business. Mm-hmm. So my company is actually called Cybseeds, which is Cybil's Personalized Magazines. Okay. So I started creating personalized wedding magazines for people. Mm-hmm. And I did this during med school, so I technically had a job.
Med school wasn't enough. You needed a side hustle, clearly. Sure. Yeah.
And so I did
underachiever.
I know, I'm so dumb. And so I was able to do this while I was in Europe because I didn't have to be there physically to print. And so I kind of had that magazine background already. Mm-hmm. And so I knew how to print, I knew how to do all that stuff, but now it was different. It was scary because now I'm releasing this to the world, this is for people to see.
Right.
And so, and that was when I first published the magazine too. I'm like, I got so excited, and I'm like, oh, what are people gonna think? All these things started coming to me, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm so insane. And I was lucky that so many people wanted to be a part of it. It was just a thought. And I remember I'm not into business. I don't know anything. I'm not creative. So the first person I went to was my brother. I'm like, listen, so I'm going to have this awesome website. It's going to be so cool. He's like, no one has a website. What are you doing? You need Instagram. I'm like, what's Instagram? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I've had Instagram for 8 years. I'm like, I didn't know. I was reading books.
So there was no playbook. You didn't have mentors. You didn't grow up in the business. You started a magazine and had to just figure it out.
I just figured it out. So I didn't know anything. I didn't have Instagram.
So how did you do that? How did you go about that? Look, this is a city of magazines, right? And we won't name the other magazines, of course.
They're not that great.
Exactly. But it's a somewhat saturated market here in Miami. Yes. So is there room for another magazine, right? How did you figure out the playbook, right? How did you go about exploring that? Was it networking? Was it being out there on the scene? What
stalking?
Worked?
You got to stalk.
Stalking. So most people network, Cybil stalks.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, well, then we have something there. Right? Make yourself good by stalking others.
And I tell people, stalk me all the time. Stalk me if you want. But it was really in the sense like...
We'll call it persistent networking. How about that? Maybe a better PC term than stalking.
I like stalking. Well, when he said Instagram is like, what you need is like, it really is, because if someone doesn't have an Instagram, that you're like, are you real? Like that becomes like your portfolio.
Which pretty much describes modern culture. If you don't have an Instagram, you're not actually a real person.
Yeah, you're not real. You're like AI. You're not real. And so when he said that, like, I automatically, like, I love to research. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, so if he's telling me this, he's an illustrator, so he's the creative one in the family. And I'm like, okay, so I started researching this Instagram. I opened Miami Vibes mag, and then I started stalking people. Like, whatever section I wanted in the magazine, I started going after people that were within that section. And like, I was surprised that like these big brands and influencers wanted to be a part of it. I'm like, this is not even a thing. And I just think they thought the name was so cool. They were like, okay, let's do this. And so, yeah, so
so you're a small publication. You're going after big influencer brands that have
everything.
weight.
I'm going after everything. I'm stalking everybody.
And they were open, right?
They're
they weren't
open.
closed-minded because you were a small, startup, basically.
I wasn't even print. I was just an idea. I was just an Instagram. And people started sharing their stories. And so we had a section called Transform and Manifest. And so basically, this was people that were going through struggles and the tools and things that they used to manifest in their lives to become a better person. And so we would have panels about that. So when we had these wellness events, we have panels of experts of like, what did they do to overcome their challenges? So yeah, it just became a community.
Exactly. I was just going to say, you built a community. Yeah. So what do you think was that? Obviously, you were the name and the face of the brand early on in those days, and still are to some degree, but very much so then. What made people feel comfortable, especially if they had their own brand, to work with you? What was it about you that...
My vibes.
Okay, well, give me more, right?
Well,
what
people
was it
say
about
I'm
your vibe?
very like open and welcoming, and like I listen, right? I listen to people. I like to hear what they have to say. Everyone has a story, and I give everyone a chance. So I work with a lot of like creatives, a lot of writers, photographers, videographers, a lot of people that didn't have a chance in other publications, right? And I think it's good. Everyone has a vision, everyone has something to say, so why not be a part in the magazine? And people always say, who's your competition? And I never really saw it as a competition, because Miami Vice is very different. It's more than a magazine. It's essentially a lifestyle. So we feature everything from thrift to luxury. There's something for everybody, right? So it's not just celebrities. It's not just the penthouses and everything like that. It's like the local mom and pops,
So I find it an interesting parallel that someone who has an eclectic background like you do, a diverse background in a lot of different things, would translate that into a magazine that has exactly the same focus. Was that natural or planned, or it just evolved that way?
It just evolved that way. It really evolved that way.
So it was organic.
It was organic, and I wanted to make sure that my culture played a big part into it. So I have a Haitian background, so I made sure that May was Haitian Heritage Month. And that was really great, because when we first launched our first May issue for Haitian Heritage Month, people were impressed. They were like, oh my God, like Haitians are actually pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, duh.
Well, let's stay on Haitian, because a lot of people may not know a lot about the Haitian culture. What was it about the Haitian culture that lended so well to a Miami lifestyle magazine?
Oh, everything. Well, we have a big Haitian presence in Miami.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So like we're like very close to Little Haiti. We have like the food, we have great stylists, we got great photographers, we have so many great creatives in Haiti, like in Miami, that I really wanted to portray that. So
it's a colorful culture.
Colorful culture.
Gregarious?
I'm sorry?
Gregarious culture?
Yes. Very friendly, gregarious, very
extroverted,
outgoing, social, absolutely.
Yeah.
Warm, and they're always like receptive to people. When I've never been, but I'm told like when they go to Haiti, they're always like, people are warm and welcoming and very nice. So yeah. Like
Interesting. So kind of walk us through kind of the growth of the magazine and what your vision is for it now at this point, and where you want to take it.
So
because there's a TV show now involved in the fray too. Okay, well, let's do magazine first, and we'll get to the TV show if we have enough time.
We'll just have to have a part 2.
Clearly.
So it's so funny. So when I looked at the magazine, what it first was, I was like, oh my God, there's been such a transformation, in terms of like the creatives and how it is. And even the website, you'll see like how it's evolved. And like you see kind of like the maturity because year one, I was everything. I was sales, marketing, photographer, videographer. I did everything. And the reason I took everything's like on because I didn't know who to trust yet. I couldn't delegate because it was something so close to home and anything that would happen would just be like, I didn't want it to hurt. I didn't want it to be something that I hated. So I took everything early on, and then little by little I started building trust. I had like writers that I could finally trust and photographers, and we became like this little family, this little culture. And then the advertisers. So everyone that advertises with us, they're family. It's not just the advertiser, they're done. It's like we keep building, we keep making a presence of them. So that's going to continue to be something that's part of the magazine. People keep telling us, are we going to expand to other cities? Maybe.
That's a logical question. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. But Miami just has so much. It's always evolving. Like every time I come down to Wynwood, there's a new building, a new restaurant. So there's always something. So maybe. Yeah. Maybe we'll go international. Who knows?
Yeah. And tell me a little how that parlayed into a television show now, which you've just started. That's in progress,
very
right?
New. Yeah.
And the name of that?
Miami Vibes TV.
Of course, Miami Vibes TV. Under the same umbrella or totally different?
Same
entities?
umbrella.
Same umbrella.
Yeah.
So now you're a multimedia mogul amidst everything else. So that a lot is being uncovered here today on Make Me Good.
I know.
Tell us about the TV show.
So we always have a lot of like video content, but I kind of wanted to be like, now we're really showcasing things in Miami, like the lifestyle, like good restaurants, chefs, the yacht life, everything that Miami has to offer just on the big screen. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier when we were talking, you like the underdog. Is there an element to Miami Vibes that gives back? Or is that something that's important to you because I know that's near and dear to your heart based on what you said earlier? Or how do you position it to do that, to give back to the community that allowed you to do this?
Well, we give back in the sense like if there's like some like a brand that's up and coming, mom and pops, like we advertise for them. Like they don't pay, so people that don't have the budget for it, like I'm all about it. Or we'll do events to showcase them. Right. So if there's a mom and pop that just opens, we'll have an event there so people can know about them. And a lot of times when we have an event somewhere, people will keep going back. So the people need to, and that's another thing too. When someone lives in an area in Miami, they tend to not like move around. If you're on the beach, you stay on the beach. You're in the Grove, you stay in the Grove. And so my premise for having an event every single month at a different place was to get people moving around. And they would leave. And people started looking forward to these events so they could meet someone or they could see a new place in Miami. Because whenever I had, every time I had an event, people were like, this is Miami, this exists. And that's because they don't know. Like a lot of times you're not going somewhere because you don't know about it.
That's interesting. So I'm newer to Miami, but I have noticed that that somewhat compartmentalization that occurs here in the city. Exactly what you said. Now, I guess my point of what I would ask you is, can a magazine cross those boundaries to allow people that may be compartmentalized to be a bit more cohesive, to know what's going on in another part of town, or go visit a restaurant, or cross-pollinate a little bit, whereas they would normally stay in their own little bubble.
Yeah, so the magazine does feature everything. So all neighborhoods, right, from Pike West to Miami Beach, everything's there. So not only do we have these events at different places, but the magazine also highlights them. Yeah.
Earlier you said you have a love-hate relationship with Miami, because I think as a long-term Miamian, as a long-term Miamian, what has changed for the better, and what has changed? And it's normal for a city to grow and have bad things that happen too, like traffic we mentioned earlier. But what in Miami has changed over the years for the better, and what has changed for the worse that we could improve?
For the better, I want to say we're definitely more wellness conscious. That's been, I think we're behind, but we're finally, and that's one thing that I loved when I came back to Miami. I'm like, because I've always been very holistic, very wellness myself. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of And I've always, so growing up, I had a lot of, I want to say allergies. And so I was very restricted to things that I would eat. Like I've never had a Lunchable. There's certain things that I never had growing up. I had to have like these disgusting rice breads, which is so gross. Everyone's like sharing lunch in elementary school, and they're like,
so the other kids had Lunchables and you had rice
they're
cakes.
like, yeah, and we're like, they don't want that. It was really bad, horrible childhood. But like it was, but that just was my thing. I was just always very healthy. I had to.
You have your finger on the pulse of the culture. So Miami, perhaps inappropriately, was labeled as a party town, and you know what you mentioned earlier. I find it fascinating that a party town would go the wellness direction, which is an interesting thing. But culturally, outside of perhaps some compartmentalization of the city, what else do you think Miami could do better that you're seeing as a part of the magazine and a part of your interfacing with so many aspects of the city?
What we can do better, I mean, we could definitely work on transportation. That's non-existent, because I feel like if you don't have a car in Miami, it's very hard to know the city.
Does the traffic lead or contribute to the compartmentalization?
For sure.
Is it part of the reason why people don't leave?
Oh my God, yes, because like a lot of
Gables, beach,
well, me, sometimes
downtown?
I don't leave before 10. Like I'm all the way in my grass, so leaving before is just like not great for my mental health.
Yeah, well, I think there's parallels. I think we saw that in Austin when Austin had their boom and ended up with a gridlock, and I think there's so many people moving to South Florida. It's contributing that much more to it. Well, that's a public health problem. Perhaps we could address with the local authorities on a future Make Me Good podcast. Let's stay on the wellness concept, because obviously with my background, that kind of feeds into my wheelhouse, and also with your nutrition background. So as a foodie town, I don't know how many thousands of restaurants we have in Miami. This is completely insane. Do you see this wellness push kind of filtering down into at the restaurant level and what's being served, what's on the menu?
Absolutely. And they'll have a lot of variety, right? So even if you're not a vegetarian, but there'll be vegetarian options, right? So I think even the restaurants are becoming health conscious as well.
Yeah. What about the medical environment in Miami? I'm newer to that scene, obviously, and I'm still learning about it. It's a big place, right? Millions of people. But I found, and I wanted to get your opinion on this, that medically we're compartmentalized just as we are from a neighborhood standpoint.
We are.
I.e., people tend to go to doctors in their little bubble.
Of course.
And not necessarily elsewhere unless they need some kind of super specialist or something.
I mean, definitely the traffic is going to play into that too. I mean, it's better to go local unless you do need to cross boundaries for it. But I think anything like local and like within your home is going to be better. But then it's good to explore. Maybe there's another thing that's better in the other side of the city. But definitely people are going to stay more remote.
Well, let's hope your magazine can help to encourage people to do that. Traffic aside, which is challenging, but certainly would be a good thing for people to get out of the bubble and go see what such a diverse city can offer, which is unlimited.
Absolutely.
Truly unlimited. Let's talk lastly about the TV show a little bit.
Okay.
And where that's going. Is it kind of parallel to the magazine, or is it something totally different? What's the focus of it?
It's parallel. It's just bringing the magazine to life. Just talking about like different places, like what's the best vacation, what's the best restaurant, and what's the local mom and pop shop that you should be trying. So it's everything that we have in the magazine, wellness components, everything's going to be there. And how are you transitioning your role as TV star now, from epidemiologist to book editor to event goer to TV star? Have you found that transition easy, difficult, challenging, natural? What? Yeah, natural. I think it was the next natural thing to do, but it's just like whatever I do, I just make sure that it's something that I love and that's gonna bring me joy. I always say the moment that I don't like doing it anymore, like the moment that it stresses me out and it just brings me down, I don't want to do it. So it has to be something you love to do, something that although there's a lot of chaos into it, but at the end of the day, you're proud of it and you just want to do it forever. So
Cybil, on the wellness concept, we're seeing movement with the longevity events and the biohacking events to
Absolutely.
Miami. I know you're involved with that. How do you see that going? And tell us about your experience with it.
Oh, there's definitely been expanding. Like I said, we're a little bit behind. I think other places have had this for some time, but it's been great. Like there will be a lot of big events, a lot of big events, but now they're becoming micro events. And that's good because these big events are a little too expensive sometimes to attend. So having these little biohacking micro events is great. So everyone could experience what these longevity options that they have available to them. So I think Miami is definitely going in the great direction with this longevity biohacking world.
And the people seem to be embracing that movement, that
They
push.
are, and especially you'll see it with the young people. Like you'll see them being active, really being conscious of like their mental health, what they're eating. They yearn for these events, right? So it's no longer I want to party, stay up all night and drink. It's like, oh, when's the biohacking event that we're going to be going to? So that's definitely becoming part of the culture.
For future discussions, we'll appreciate your epidemiological perspective on the biohacking progression of Miami. But fascinating thing we're seeing all over the country, but definitely here in South Florida.
Absolutely, yes. And I think that's one of the things Miami has going great for them.
All right, last question. How does Miami vibes make Cybil good? How does Miami vibes make you good?
It makes me good because I get to make other people good.
Boom. That's a damn fine answer. Wow. That wasn't practiced or rehearsed. You came up with that on the spot. Okay. Yeah, how? Right. It's a feeling, it's feedback.
I love making other people feel good.
Are you a people person? Do you take energy from others? You go to an event that gives you energy as opposed to giving them energy?
And which is why when I host events, I disappear for like 30 minutes. The people are like, did she leave? And I hide in a room.
Well, you're stalking everyone.
Yes,
I thought, right?
Exactly. I have to stalk them from behind the curtains.
You have your own methodology, I suppose.
My secret's out. No, I just had to recharge because, I love to talk to people at the same time. Like it takes a lot of energy, So I need to recharge so I could be able to talk to people and just be a good host.
So you have to step away from it.
I had to step away sometimes.
Because you're on, right? When you're at an event, when you're doing your thing, you're on. When you're on television, you're on. When you're on podcasts, you're on getting grilled questions by people like me. How do you decompress?
Self-care. So I always take Sundays I used to not have any days off. Like, I think that's a gym, right? No days off. I have to take Sundays off. Like, it just has to be my day where I don't do anything. So I tell people, like, guys, I die on Sundays. Don't call me. Don't do anything. I'm like Jesus. I resurrect on Monday. Like, it just has to be my time to just...
Does that include shutting down social media?
Oh, I'm not a social media person, so...
Magazine editor, TV star who doesn't do social media. Well, that's next episode, because we have to go there. Well, that's part 2. I want to know how you do that. All right. Well, Cybil, it's been awesome having you here. Thank you so much. A great story and a great resource to our community.
Thank you,
I do want to give a shout out to MD Effect, who is making me look really cool today.
So cool.
You know MD Effect. Thank you, Matt Dillon.
That's my
and I'm
bestie. What are you talking about?
I'm sure Matt will find his way with his incredible new jewelry line into Miami vibes.
I know, and I keep stalking him to steal them, and for some reason I can't find them. So
I'll help you track him down.
Okay.
We'll stalk him together.
I'm so excited.
All right. Thanks, Cybil. Thanks so much for being here. Awesome to talk with you as always, and we look forward to future communication with you.
Looking forward to part 2.
Thanks, Cybil.
Thank you. Bye.